Hi and welcome everyone to another video. My name is Denis and today I'm going to show you some of the best players you should buy ahead of Game Week 12 of Fantasy Premier League, so let's just get into it. Okay guys, so welcome to another episode of Fun with Flags with FPL Denis. Just a little joke there. As I said before, today we're going to discuss about the best players you should buy, you should target ahead of Game Week 12 of Fantasy Premier League. But before doing that, since we are in an international break, since a lot of things are happening at the moment, I want to discuss a little bit about them, and then we're going to see which players are we going to buy to replace these ones. Now again, before talking about these injuries, what I want to say to you honestly is try to not panic. I know it is a little bit hard. A lot of players have injury doubts at the moment in the international break, and a lot of popular players, which a lot of us have in their FPL teams. But the best thing to do at the moment is to try to not panic too much. We need to wait to see more information, and definitely don't sell your players before knowing how many game weeks are they supposed to be out for. So as you can see from the screen, Joachim Andersen is not part of the matchday squad for Denmark this evening. Now again, this is probably just a personal reason why he was not in the squad. Enzo Fernandez, his injury is not new to us. He had a little bit of an injury, as you can see. He said it, yes, I had an injury, not so serious, but it took me almost a month and a half to recover. Now why I'm putting here Enzo Fernandez is because I think that a lot of people have him at the moment. He's going to play against Burnley, so he's going to be a really popular option to play. Even probably you're not going to buy him, right? But again, after this game against Burnley, Chelsea are going to play against Barcelona in the Champions League, and then they are going to play against Arsenal. So we need to see if Enzo Fernandez is likely to start. Antoine Semenyo, the top scorer midfielder this year, a lot of people have him, I suppose, in their teams, has been forced to return to the club early after picking up an injury with Ghana national team. So again, at the moment, there are a lot of reports coming our way about Antoine Semenyo. Some of them are saying that he was left out of the squad because some personal stuff. So again, at the moment, we don't know a lot of information. We don't know if he's injured. We don't know how many games he's going to miss. So yeah, just keep your transfers at the moment. And the same could be said about Gabriel. Now with Gabriel, it's looking like he's definitely injured. We don't know the extent of the injury, but as you can see from the screen, he was forced off just over an hour into Brazil's friendly against Senegal this past weekend. By the look of things, an injury to the groin. So again, we don't know a lot of this. A lot of people have Gabriel in their FPL squads. He's probably the best defender at the moment to have in FPL. And again, we need to see the extent of the injury to see if we're going to sell him or not. Because for an example, if he's going to miss one game, if he's going to miss 2 games, then yeah, probably you can make a case about just keeping him. But if he's going to be out for a long period of time, he's definitely a sell, and we have a lot of options to go. Now let's talk about them right now. Okay, so as I said before, there is an injury doubt about Gabriel, that is true. But even if he's going to be fit, for an example, to play, I think that here we're going to discuss about two really good defenders. If you're looking to buy a defender in FPL, I think that you should look at Virgil van Dijk and Daniel Munoz. Even if Gabriel is going to be fit, I think that they are going to be good pickups for your team. We're going to discuss also about other defenders, but if you want, for an example, Gabriel replacement and be at the same price, something like that, you don't want to go straight up to a 4 million defender or 4.5 million defender, then yeah, pretty much you have here Virgil van Dijk, Daniel Munoz. Real quick, if you want to go still for an Arsenal defender, I think that's definitely not a bad idea. And you have there some really good options in Timber, Calafiori, Saliba, even someone like Raya could be a nice option. But again, Arsenal are going to play against Spurs and Chelsea in the next two. I think that, again, if you want to go a little bit different, Virgil van Dijk, Munoz are really good options. 5.9 for Virgil van Dijk, 5.7 millions for Daniel Munoz. I think that both of them are great. It really depends which way you want to go. Daniel Munoz, obviously, he's the best attacking defender in the game. He's basically playing as a winger for Crystal Palace. As you can see from these numbers, from these stats, Crystal Palace got 5 clean sheets. Liverpool got 3 in the first 11 game weeks. So again, looking at the expected goals conceded, you can see that it is not such a big difference in terms of the expectancy of a goal conceded by these teams. Maybe we can say that Liverpool conceded more goals than they should be, but again, there is no secret that Liverpool are going to go into an amazing run of fixtures right now. As you can see, Forest, West Ham, Sunderland, but this run is going to go for a long period of time. So they have great fixtures, basically short term, medium term. I think that they're going to improve. definitely defensively. And if you want to buy a defender from Liverpool, definitely if you have the money, you just go for Virgil van Dijk. You don't need that headache to go for Kerkez, to go for Robertson, to go for Frimpong, to go for Bradley at the moment. The only one alternative I really like, and I think that it could work out, is to just go for Ibrahima Konate, who it is a little bit more cheaper. Definitely, if you don't have the money to go for Virgil, then yeah, Konate is a really nice option, but again, he is more injury prone. With Van Dijk, in this congested period with Christmas, with all these celebrations, you know that he's going to play 90 minutes every game. He's really fit. He's rarely missing any games, basically none in the last years. But yeah, again, Konate could be a nice option, cheaper. With Daniel Munoz, again, if you want to go for just one of them, for an example, I would be really tempted to go for Daniel Munoz to try to go with the upside. I think that he has a higher ceiling. Yes, Virgil van Dijk could score goals from set pieces, we know that, but Daniel Munoz is returning constantly. As we can see here, he got 1 goal and 3 assists this season, and again, I'm expecting him to deliver in this gaming, but definitely, again, if you don't want to spend that money, 5.7 millions for Munoz, I don't really need to discuss too much. You have other options for Crystal Palace. You have Gay, you have Lacroix, you have Richards, who's probably the best 4.5 million defender in the game. We're going to talk also a little bit about him. But with Daniel Munoz, you're betting for him to get some attacking returns, right? Because he could get clean sheets, he could get you a goal, he could also even get you some defensive contributions, but this is not going to happen every game. Wolverhampton, Man United, Burnley. After that, the fixtures are not going to be amazing for Crystal Palace, but for a short period of time, I think that he could be a great option. Now, the only problem, the only downside to Crystal Palace is that they have a lot of fixtures to play in this period in Europe, in all the cups, in the Premier League. But the good part about Munoz is that, if you want to say it like that, for someone like Richards, he could be missing in some games. He could be on the bench in some game. We know that even someone like Guehi at the moment is injured. So yeah, probably that's going to be better for Richards. But still, you got my point. Munoz is barely missing any games. He's a fitness monster, so again, you are more safe with Munoz. But now, if you want, we can discuss also about some other alternatives. If you don't want to go for this, if you want to go for a cheaper defender, for an example, I put him here a list. Richards, probably he is my favorite defender. As you can see from the screen, Wolverhampton, Man United, Burnley, Fulham, Man City in game week 16, Leeds in game week 17, Tottenham, Fulham again in game week 19. So the fixtures are mixed, but short term are really good for Crystal Palace. And yeah, Richards is really good for defensive contributions. He doesn't have a lot of goal threat, let's be honest, but he's going to get you the clean sheets. Ballard, he's a really interesting option. Now, I don't think that I would go there because of the fixtures: Fulham, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Man City, Newcastle, Brighton in the next 6. It's not amazing, but at some point Ballard, because of his amazing attacking threat, because he's amazing for defensive contributions, and also Sunderland showing us that they are a good defense this season, I think that he's going to be a really interesting option at some point, but definitely I would not buy him now. Keane from Everton, 4.5 millions. He's another really good one. Mostly because of his attacking threat. He's decent for defensive contributions. He's maybe not at that level of Tarkowski, but he's really good. Man United, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Forest, Chelsea, Arsenal. Yeah, maybe the fixtures are not amazing for them in the future. And also, I like Anderson at 4.5 millions. Not a lot of people like Anderson because Fulham didn't kept a lot of clean sheets this season, but Sunderland, Spurs, Man City, Palace, Burnley, Forest, West Ham, Crystal Palace from game week 15, 16, I think that the fixtures are looking better for Fulham, and I think that they're going to improve. And also, he's amazing for defensive contributions, like pretty much all these players. Van de Berg, Mukiele, Van Heek is an interesting one. If you don't have the money, if you need just 4.5 millions, I think that he's great. Mostly because of the fixtures, and yeah, Brighton have definitely improved defensively. So yeah, someone like Van Heek could be an interesting one if you don't have someone like Verbruggen in goal. Alderete, I would not go there. Trafford, Rodon, again, these are really cheap defenders. From this list with cheap defenders, you don't really have a lot of them. My favorites one, would be maybe my top four, let's say, Van Heck, Anderson, Keane, and Richards. But Richards is miles better. I think my favorite 4.5 million defender. Now let's go and talk also about other positions. In the next two parts, we're going to discuss about four midfielders who I think that are going to be decent buys for you for Game Week 12 if you're looking to buy a midfielder, obviously. Now starting with these two, Dominic Szoboszlai and Ismaila Sarr from Crystal Palace, we're going to start discussing about these ones. Now, as I said before, someone like Semenyo might be injured. Maybe you have someone like Reinders. Maybe you have still someone like Gyökeres, so you want to distribute those funds into midfield. Any way you want to see it, maybe you're looking to buy a midfielder. And at the moment, we have some really good options to go for, depending on your budget, depending on your preferences. I'm not going to discuss about every midfielder you could buy. I think that we're not going to discuss today about someone like Declan Rice. So I think that he's a really nice option and a really nice alternative to someone like Szoboszlai if you want. Definitely, I think that Arsenal are better at set pieces than Liverpool. Declan Rice is taking the most of them, so I think that he's a good option. But I'm just not sure if I would buy Declan Rice ahead of these two game weeks against Tottenham and against Chelsea. But yeah, he's a great option. Now we're going to discuss about Szoboszlai, about Ismaila Sarr. Both of them are almost the same price, 6.6, 6.7 for Sarr. Szoboszlai, again, if we look at the numbers for this season, for what's worth, he was playing in the beginning of the season, at least he mostly plays a right back, so we can't really judge him the same way as someone like Sarr, who pretty much played in his own position. Obviously, he missed some games due to an injury. Now if you look at the stats, 1 goal for Szoboszlai, 3 goals from Ismaila Sarr, but the real impactful stat here is the expected goals, because as you can see, 3.63 for Ismaila Sarr, just 1.3 for Szoboszlai. Definitely, Sarr is the more offensive player. He's getting more chances. He's more likely to score goals. If we look on the other side, for the expected assist, Szoboszlai, because he's taking some set pieces for Liverpool, he has a little bit more expected assist threat. Again, if you want me to pick just one of them, yeah, I would just pick Ismaila Sarr. Definitely, the fixtures are great for both of these two. But with Ismaila Sarr, he's going to go in game week 16 to African Cup of Nations now. Again, if you want to still buy him, I think that is a good buy. And if you want to buy him, I think that you should buy him right now in game week 12 against Wolverhampton. Probably this is the best entry point for you for Ismaila Sarr. After that, I'm just not sure if I would buy him anymore, because you're just going to buy him and then you need to sell him after 2 or 3 game weeks. So yeah, this is the only downside to Ismaila Sarr, that he's going to have to go at some point in game week 16. But other than that, I think that for the next 5, for the next 6, for what's worth, I think that he's a better pick than Szoboszlai, definitely. Now with Szoboszlai, he also has some little problems attached to him. He's on 4 yellow cards, and as you may know, if he's going to get another yellow card, he's going to miss 1 game basically. So yeah, that's the only risk. But again, it is a really tricky situation, because you could just not buy Szoboszlai. He could deliver some really good FPL points and maybe not getting that yellow card, or he could just get that yellow card against Nottingham Forest and he's going to miss in game week 13 against West Ham away. That would be really horrible for you. But again, the fixtures for Liverpool, as I said before, are great. He's on some set pieces. I don't think that he's going to play a lot of the time as a right back. He's not going to get probably as many defensive contributions, because he's more likely to play as a number 10, as a number 6 maybe. But he's going to play in midfield, I think. Because he's playing amazing at the moment. He's reliable at the moment. You know that he's going to play 90 minutes every game week. Now, of course, anyone could be rested at some point, but Szoboszlai was instrumental to Liverpool this season. He was, from my point of view, he was the best player for Liverpool. So I just can't see him being benched too many times. And again, the thing is, we don't have a lot of options from Liverpool. If you want to go for Gakpo, he's going to be a rotation risk, definitely. If you want to go for Wirtz, probably you don't want to do that. If you want to go for Isak, for Ekitike, they are going to not play 90 minutes every game week. And the other player probably you want to go is Mohamed Salah, who's even more than double the price of Dominic Szoboszlai. So yeah, for that price, I think that is a great option, but definitely there are some risk attached. Again, Ismail Sarr, probably I would go for him. I know that he was a little bit unlucky for missing a lot of chances in the last 2 or 3 game weeks, but he's getting the chances. He's going to score at some point, and I think that he's just a great pick still at that price if you're willing to just sell him back after he's going to go to the African Cup of Nations. But let's move to the other midfielders. Next up, we're going to discuss about the other 2 midfielders I prepared for you today. Now, it is not such a fair comparison as you can see here. Bryan Mbeumo versus Yakuba Minteh. It is not so fair for me to put them here. 8.5 millions for Mbeumo and 6 millions for Minteh. Definitely there it is a big price difference, but I just think that both of them are really good options if you want to buy them. So yeah, it is not a comparison. I think that both of them are great. Now, as I said, for Sarr, Mbeumo, it is in the same case. He's going to go to African Cup of Nations in Game Week 16. Now, Man United requested for Mbeumo to not go until Game Week 17, maybe until Game Week 18. But again, at the moment, all the players, for what we know, are going to go to the African Cup of Nations in Game Week 16 until Game Week 23, something like that. So yeah, at some point you need to sell him, but he's just great value at the moment, so we can't ignore him. As I said, for Sarr, if you're looking to buy a midfielder, if you have the funds to go for Mbeumo, I think that is just a great option. Man United have great fixtures, bearing in mind that fixture against Crystal Palace away, probably that's the toughest fixture for them in the next 5 or 6 game weeks. Everton at home, West Ham at home in Game Week 14. The fixtures are great. Mbeumo, I think that definitely he's the best midfielder to go for Manchester United. When talking about open play threat, I think that he's the best one. As you can see from the screen, this season in 11 game weeks, he accumulated 3.25 expected goals and 2.6 expected assists. So Mbeumo also is on some set pieces for Manchester United. So he's really good to assist. He's really good to get you some goals. I think that's just a great option. Now, again, you can make a case about Bruno Fernandes if you don't have him into your team. He's not going to go to African Cup of Nations. So if you want to avoid the headache, yeah, I think that Bruno Fernandes is also a great option on penalties. But Mbeumo has the higher upside. He has the higher ceiling. And I think that is just a great option. Now, I'm not trying to compare him to Minteh. I think that Minteh, for what's worth, for that price, 6 millions, I think that he's the best midfielder in the game from my point of view. And that's not because I have him into my team, but I really believe that his numbers are great. 2.1 expected goals, 1.65 expected assists. For a player of his price, I think that he's great. And the good part is that he has good minutes at the moment. He's playing close to 90 minutes every game week. He's really reliable to that Brighton side. He's creating more chances, I would say, that he's getting to score, basically. But yeah, as you can see here, he got 1 goal, 5 assists. Mbeumo got 5 goals, 1 assist. In usual terms, definitely you want that midfielder who's more likely to score you goals. But I think that both of them are great. And again, if you don't want to go for someone like Caicedo, someone like Xhaka, then definitely I would go for someone like Minteh. And also another good part is that the fixtures for Brighton are great, and they are a good side, a good attacking side. We know that they can score goals. Yeah, I think that is just great. Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, and the fixtures are still good after that. Now, it really depends what you want. Again, if Semenyo is going to be out, maybe it's going to be really easy for you to go for someone like Mbeumo. If you have already, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 players who are going to go to the African Cup of Nations, probably it is not such a good idea to stack with them, because ideally you don't want to use in Game Week 16. As you know, we're going to get 5 free transfers in Game Week 16. In a amazing scenario, you don't want to use all of them in Game Week 16, if you know what I mean. You want to carry some of them. So yeah, again, it is not such a good idea to have, I don't know, 5, 4, 6 players are going to go before Game Week 16. But again, both of them are going to be great. All these 4 midfielders are going to be good in the short term, I think. Szoboszlai, Mbeumo, Minteh, Ismail Sarr, maybe someone like Enzo. Obviously, if you have him, just keep him. But yeah, you got my point. All these players are going to be good buys from my point of view. Now, let's talk a little bit about some strikers. Okay, now in the last part, I want to discuss about some of the best strikers I think that you should buy ahead of Game Week 12. Now, as you may know, there aren't a lot of good strikers at the moment. So yeah, a surprise is going to be about Igor Thiago and Danny Welbeck from Brighton. Both of them at the same price, pretty much. 6.3 for Thiago, 6.5 for Danny Welbeck. The more popular Thiago, let's say, because he's scoring a lot of goals at the moment recently, also for a lot of penalties. Now, these players are really similar. Also, both of them are going to play against each other in Game Week 12. So yeah, really funny. Brighton is going to play against Brentford. Both of them are on penalties when they are going to play. Now, if I need to choose right now just one of them, probably I would choose Thiago, but also you need to think a little bit about your strategy. Because for an example, as you can see, Thiago is going to have the best fixture of him against Burnley in game week 13. Now, if you're planning to use your free hit in game week 13, probably I would avoid Thiago for the moment and just buy him after that. Now, yeah, probably he's going to rise in price sometimes if he's going to keep scoring 2 goals every gaming, but yeah, that's the risk. If you're going to miss that fixture in game week 13, if you're going to use your free hit for an example, other than that, the fixtures are just not great. Brighton, Arsenal, and there's another great, not great fixture in game week 15. So yeah, short term, I think that Welbeck could be a better pick, but it really depends on your strategy. Obviously, with Welbeck, when the period is going to be really congested, we're going to have a lot of games to be played. I think that there could be some chances of him not starting. This is the only downside with Hurzeler. Also, you're not going to know when Welbeck is not going to be on the pitch, when he's going to get an injury, because he doesn't really tell us a lot of information, the coach. But again, short term, I think that he could be a great option. And yeah, although I would like to recommend you other strikers, there aren't really a lot of other options. Maybe you have Gyökeres like me and you're looking to buy one. If you want to distribute those funds in midfield, I would also consider just selling Gyökeres to someone like Mark Guyu, someone like Obi. So at that spot, a 4.2 forward. Other than that, yeah, again, I didn't talk about Mateta. I'm not going to include him in this video. I think that Mateta is better than pretty much everyone besides Haaland for the striker position. So yeah, if you don't have Mateta, it could be a really good idea to just buy him. But I think that it is really obvious. Other than that, you're not going to go for Isak. You're not going to go for Ekitike, you're not going to go for Voltemart against Man City. So there aren't really a lot of good strikers. Maybe someone like Raul Jimenez from Fulham, but I just think that for a little bit more money, you could just go for Thiago and be done with it. As you can see, really similar statistics for both of them. 8 goals for Thiago, 6 for Welbeck. Expected goals pretty similar. Expected assist, yeah, they are not really creative forwards, let me just say it like that. But big chances, 12 for Thiago and just 7 for Welbeck. So definitely, if you force me to pick just one of them for the long term, probably I would just go for Thiago. But as I said before, depending on your strategy, the fixtures are just not amazing for Brentford, honestly, in the next 4, besides that fixture against Burnley at home, as you can see from the screen. Now, thanks a lot for watching this video this long. Please let me know in the comments down below what do you think. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.